Okay, so you have the Baltimore Ravens record prediction. So Ravens, I think they have an overall good team. They have a good defense with a great secondary, and they're offensively, they still have Lamar Jackson and great running backs. And the only thing they're lacking is wide receivers, which I don't think they really use. And so you have your first game versus the Jets. Jets definitely brought in a lot of pieces and drafted really well, but they're still rebuilding. This is Zach Wilson's only second season, and Jets, they still have a lot of questions, especially in the secondary and linebackers. And I think Ravens just having more experience and a better coach. I'll take the Ravens. Then you have Dolphins, also another interesting team. The last time they played, the Dolphins defense totally blitzed the heck out of the Ravens offense. I don't see that happening again this year. Harbaugh definitely going to adjust. And defensively, Ravens are a good defense, but may not be enough to slow down the Dolphins. But overall, the Ravens have home field advantage, and I think better team. I'm gonna take the Ravens. Then you have then versus the Patriots, week 3 against the Patriots. Patriots always good. They have a good defense with Bill Belichick, which I think might cause problems for the Ravens and offense. And I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. The Ravens defense, I think, is good enough to slow down the Patriots, but Patriots do have home field advantage. And Bill Belichick, I'm gonna take the Patriots. Then you have week 4 versus the Bills. Bills Super Bowl contenders, so definitely a challenge. The Bills are pretty much stacked at every position. On defense, they have obviously White, their safety duo, their linebacker duo, Von Miller, and offensively, the Bills have Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and I think there's just too much talent for the Ravens to handle, especially since a lot of the players are coming off injuries. I'm gonna take the Bills. Then you have Denver versus the Bengals. Last year, the Bengals whooped the Ravens' ass twice, but Ravens were injured that year. I think the Ravens this year, even with all Bengals' offensive talent and their skill players, are able to match up in a good game versus the Bengals. And since the Ravens have home field advantage, I'm going to take the Ravens. Then you have them versus the Giants. Giants, another rebuilding team. Even Giants just don't have a lot of talent right now. Definitely a trap game for the Ravens, but I'm still taking the Ravens. Then you have them versus the Browns. Browns at this point probably starting Brissett. Browns definitely have a talented team. They have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, which I think can cause problems with our Ravens defense. And Cleveland defensively also still have Myles Garrett, still have Denzel Ward. So the Browns do have a good team though. But Ravens have the home field advantage, and they still have Lamar Jackson, a great running back committee that the Browns defense may struggle on. So I'm gonna take the Ravens. Then you have them versus the Buccaneers on a Thursday night. Buccaneers definitely have home field advantage. They have a really lot of talent. The Bucks did lose a couple pieces on offensive line, which I think may cause problems. But overall, I think Ravens are slightly more talented than the Bucks, but Bucks do have home field advantage. It's going to be close. I think Bucks are going to win this, but I'm just going to pick the upset. I like the Ravens running back committee better in this situation. I'm going to take the Ravens. Then you have your mini bye until you have the Saints on a Monday nighter. Saints have a really tough defense with Marcus Williams. I think he's still on the team. Lattimore, Cameron Jordan. And I think that can definitely cause problems for the Ravens offense. But the Saints offensively don't have that much talent, especially Sean Payne leaving. So I think this is going to be another defensive game. And with the mini bye, even with the Saints home field advantage, I'm still taking the Ravens. Then you have your actual bye. They have a lot of rest there. And you have them versus the Panthers. I know people like the Panthers because they traded for Baker Mayfield. The Panthers, the team just isn't that talented. They do have a very young defense like Burns, Chin, I forgot what his Jackson or Dante, their quarterback. So defensively, the Panthers, I do think they do have some talent, but Panthers offensively, they just don't have enough, especially with the shaky offensive line. And the Ravens coming off a bye and then a mini bye, they have so much more talent. I'm gonna take the Ravens. And you have Denver versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars coming off a bye, definitely a trap team. But Jacksonville, even with all that free agency spree, they aren't enough to take down the Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens. Then you have them versus the Broncos. Broncos, another tough team. Ravens have the home field advantage, but Broncos, they brought in Russell Wilson. They still have a great wide receiving core in Son and Judy. They have a good running back in Williams, and their offensive line is solid. And defensively, Broncos are still good. Evan Callahan, I think his name, the safety, Justin, and Randy Gregory and Chubb. So definitely a good game. I think it's definitely an underrated game. But Ravens have home field advantage. I think their Ravens running back committee can cause problems for Broncos defense, and Ravens defense are good enough to slow down the Broncos. I'm taking the Ravens. Then you have the Steelers. Always divisional game, always tough. I think Ravens and Steelers are always gonna split. So first game, the Steelers have home field advantage. I'm gonna take Steelers. Then you have them versus the Browns. Like I said, the Browns, if Deshaun Watson will probably be back at this point, but and the Browns always have talent. It's such a talented team, and they split with the Ravens usually. And since I had the Ravens beating the Browns the first time, I'm gonna take the Browns. Then you have them versus Falcons. Falcons, another rebuilding team. The Falcons are just bad right now. You'll be lucky if you're not a Falcons fan and name 5 players on the Falcons team. So I'm gonna take the Ravens. Then you have your second game versus the Steelers. Another tough game. Always like Steelers versus Ravens, always a grind game. And since I had the Steelers winning the first one, I had the Ravens winning the second. You have you versus the Bengals. Bengals, like I said, very talented team, have a great trio of wide receivers. And Bengals defense, I think, is underrated. And Bengals, to me, are just too good to get swept by the Ravens, so I'm going to take the Bengals. So in the end, I have the Ravens going 12-5, 3-3 in the division, 7-1 at home, and 5-4 away.